Hello, my name is Allison Henry, and I will be discussing my PowerPoint on the violations of the ISO/IEC standards in the Annie Dukin crime lab scandal. The Annie Dukin crime lab scandal is one of the most significant instances of forensic misconduct in recent history. Annie Dukin, a chemist at the Massachusetts Department of Public Health Drug Abuse Lab, was found to have falsified test results and tampered with evidence over several years, which affected thousands of criminal cases. Her actions included dry labbing, reporting results of tests that were never performed, manipulating evidence samples, and exaggerating her qualifications. These unethical practices led to wrongful convictions, the need for case reevaluations, and substantial damage to public trust in the criminal justice system. The scandal came to light in 2012, leading to the shutdown of the Hinton State Laboratory Institute where she worked. It was discovered that she had been deliberately misrepresenting her work to boost her productivity and status within the lab, all while compromising the integrity of forensic science. The fallout from her actions were immense, resulting in the dismissal of numerous cases, lawsuits, and a significant overhaul of forensic protocols in Massachusetts. So, what is the importance of ISO/IEC accreditation standards? Um, the ISO/IEC 17025 is an international standard that specifies the general requirements for the competence of testing and collaboration laboratories. Accreditation to this demonstrates that a laboratory operates competently and generates valid results, thereby promoting confidence in its work both nationally and around the world. The importance of um, the accreditation standards in forensic laboratories cannot be overstated. These standards provide a comprehensive framework for ensuring quality and integrity in laboratory operations, encompassing aspects such as management systems, personal competence, method validation, and equipment calibration. Adhering to these standards help ensure competence, impartiality, consistency, traceability, improvement, and etc. In the context of the Annie Dukin scandal, several key ISO/IEC 17025 standards were in non-compliance in the scandal, leading to the widespread impact on the criminal justice system. So the first standard we're going to talk about is the ISO/IEC 17025 2017 clause 4.15, and it states if a risk to impartiality is identified, the laboratory shall be able to demonstrate how it eliminates or minimize such risk. The breach was that Dukin's actions were driven by personal gain, such as boosting productivity figures, which compromised the impartiality of the lab's operations, and the impact of this was that it undermined the objectivity of forensic results, casting doubt on the integrity of the entire lab and its findings. The next standard is the clause 7.52, and it states the laboratory shall ensure that amendments to technical records can be tracked to previous versions or to original observations. Both the original and amended data and files shall be retained, including the date of alteration and indication of the altered aspects and the personnel responsible for the alterations. The breach was that Dukin falsified records and data which were not properly controlled or reviewed by the laboratory, and the impact of this was that the inaccurate and falsified records led to widespread legal and procedural repercussions as the integrity of the evidence chain was broken. The next is clause 6.2.2. And it states that the laboratory shall document the competence requirements for each function influencing the results of laboratory activities, including requirements for education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, skills, and experience. The breach was that Annie Dukin exaggerated her qualifications and performed tasks without proper oversight or competence. There were no adequate processes in place to verify her competence, and the impact of this was the failure to ensure personnel competence, which led to unreliable test results, compromising thousands of criminal cases and leading to wrongful convictions. The next clause is 7.4.1, and it states the laboratory shall have a procedure for the transportation, receipt, handling, protection, storage, retention, and disposal or return of test or calibration items, including all provisions necessary to protect the integrity of the test or calibration item and to protect the interests of the laboratory and the customer. Precautions shall be taken to avoid deterioration, contamination, loss, or damage to the item during handling, transporting, storing/waiting, and preparation for testing and calibration. Handling instructions provided with the item shall be followed. And the breach was that improper handling and tampering with test results were rampant under her supervision, and the impact was that the compromised integrity of test results invalidated many forensic results, necessitating extensive reviews and retesting of evidence. The next clause is 7.72, and the state's laboratory shall monitor its performance by comparison with the results of other laboratories where available and appropriate. This monitoring shall be planned and reviewed and shall include but not be limited to either or both of the following: participation in proficiency testing, participation in interlaboratory comparisons other than proficiency testing. The breach was that there was inadequate monitoring of result validity and insufficient participation in proficiency testing, and the impact was the lack of proper validation mechanism allowed erroneous and fraudulent results to go undetected that affected the reliability of forensic evidence presented in court. And the next is the clause 8.1.1, the laboratory shall establish, document, implement, and maintain a management system that is capable of supporting and demonstrating the consistent achievement of the requirements of this document and assuring the quality of the laboratory results. In addition to meeting the requirements of clauses 4 to 7, the laboratory shall implement a management system in accordance with option A or option B. And the breach was that the lab lacked a robust management system to detect and prevent the misconduct that occurred, and the impact was that the ineffective management systems fail to identify and mitigate risk, leading to systemic failures that ultimately compromise the entire forensic operations. And in conclusion, the Annie Dukin crime lab scandal highlights the critical importance of adhering to ISO/IEC 17025 accreditation standards in forensic laboratories. The breaches in these standards not only affected the governance of the Massachusetts state crime laboratories, but also had far-reaching consequences on public trust and the administration of justice. And this is my works cited page. Thank you.